Live.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, what the hell did I get myself into this weekend? And why saving plastic is a total waste of time? And do you have the slow walk death? And a Japanese man turns into a dog. All this and much, much more will be discussed here on DeaconLive. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Are you doing okay? Are you surviving? Did you survive this Memorial Day weekend? Well, if you ask me if I survived this Memorial Day weekend, the only thing I have to say is Jesus Christ. Christ almighty. I mean, I understand why families don't get to see each other that often because they can't stand each other. And, you know, I don't know. It was interesting. Now, for those of you who don't know, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. We sit on about 22 some odd acres here. We have a bunch of horses. We have chickens, goats, cattle, all that stuff. And ducks, cats, dogs. And this weekend we had more dogs than we could handle. More dogs than we wanted to handle, and I'll get into that here later on in the show. But so my dad's moved in here into the house, which is not a big deal. I mean, you know, he's got his own little thing going on. He wants his own little place. We're going to build him a little place on the backside of the property. You guys know this. I've already said this before. And I said, you know what? After my mom's funeral, my dad's all moved in and everything's settled. I thought the next step, the appropriate thing to do was say, you know what? He hasn't seen his brothers and sisters for like a great deal length of time because he's been dealing with my mom in and out of the hospital. I said, so you know what, let's do something nice for him, for his brother and sister and their family. And they've, you know, they're older, the kids are grown, they're out of the house. I said, let's invite them all over for Memorial Day weekend. We'll have a nice cookout. We'll have a nice weekend. It's supposed to be beautiful weather, yada, yada, yada. So we did that. So then we had to pin down who was going to be here at what time and, you know, so we can plan on lunches for that day or dinners for that day or just basically plan meals for the Memorial Day weekend. So we get a text from his brother saying that he'll be here on Saturday and he'll leave on Tuesday. Great. Perfect. That'll work. And then we get a text from his sister saying that she'll be here on Saturday afternoon and we'll leave on Monday morning, mid-morning. Great. Fine. All right. Everything's planned. Everything's set up. All the bedrooms are set up. Everything's here. Everything's ready to go. So I'm doing my normal Friday day stuff. You know, I've got a show at the Ag Center. By the way, I'd like to thank all you guys that came out there to see myself and the other podcasts that I do, which is equinedynamics.com. Check them out on iHeartRadio. I host a show. I'm the idiot on the show, not like the genius that I am on this show, but I'm basically the host of the show, the moderator, and I do a horse equestrian show. We had a live event over at the Ag Center. Big, huge place. There must have been thousands of people there. So appreciate everyone that came out and I saw there and shake their hands and gave them some magnets and stickers and stuff. So I was loading everything up on Friday afternoon. I got all my yard work done and I'm loading up the truck with all the gear and everything. And all of a sudden my dad comes out and goes, oh, my brother's going to be here in about 20 minutes. I'm like, what? It's Friday. I thought he was coming on Saturday. Well, I guess they're coming on Friday. All right. Does anyone in this family follow a plan, a rules, a time schedule? Remember I told you a couple of weeks ago that his sister was coming up and was going to be here first thing in the morning. Then it was later on in the afternoon. Then it didn't show up till midnight the next day. I exaggerate, but you get what I'm saying. So he shows up with his wife and they show up at, you know, I think just after lunch or mid-lunch right before dinner and shows up. I'm like, hey, you know, we're not ready for you, but you're here. So what am I going to say? Sit in your truck until tomorrow? All right, come on in. You know, I got stuff I got to do. I got stuff I got to finish. I didn't want to say that was rude, but it caught me off guard. You know, we were planning on, it's not like we're sitting around the house just waiting for people to show up. We've got our own shit to do here on the property. And I hope after them being here for the last 4 days, they realize and understand what kind of time schedule that we have on this property, even though we both work from home. We both have a lot of chores and stuff that we do here on the property. I hope they see that now, the way this machine works here between my wife and I. So anyways, they show up, and I'm like, look, we didn't make dinner for anyone because we're saving everything for tomorrow. I got a frozen pizza. You guys want a frozen pizza? Because there's nothing around us. Nothing delivers. So they had a frozen pizza, kind of chit-chat and stuff. They brought their 2 dogs, and like I said, I'm going to get into the dog section here in a little bit. And so that was fine. So we woke up the next morning. Everyone had breakfast, and then we started our day. And then my dad's sister came over with her husband, came over just like expected, got here, fine, everything was set, everything was good. Here's a couple things. Now, this is just me. This is not law, but this is just me. When you get invited for a weekend or over to any kind of gathering, like a Memorial Day or a birthday or something like that, there are a couple questions, courtesy questions that you're supposed to ask. Can I bring anything or can I do anything for you? I've always been taught that, whether it be through my mom, whether it be through just watching things on TV, and like that's the proper thing to do. That's the proper way to treat other humans, that have gone out of their way. Now, we've been invited, my wife and I have been invited to many, sleepover. I say sleepovers, many gatherings at other friends' house where we've had to spend the night. Cryst, our wedding was at her best friend's house. And I was like going, hey, man, I'm helping you with everything that we need to do. And he's like, no, I'll take care of it. I'm like, no, you don't understand. You're doing us a favor. I'm going to do you a lot of favor. You're not paying for any meals. You're having this thing and so on and so forth. That's just the way I physically see human reaction or human interaction should happen. So everyone shows up and they got their they got their clothes and they got everything and they put it all in their bedrooms and stuff. So the whole, hold on. The whole entire time, I'm awesome host. I'm awesome host. Make sure everyone has coffee in the morning. Make sure everyone has breakfast in the morning. You guys need lunch or anything? Hey, I'll pull out whatever we plan for lunch that day. Dinner will be around this time. This is what we're cooking this day and this day. I'm bouncing in and out of the house. And they're literally asses are planted in the seats, and that was it. His sister came in once or twice and said, can I help you with anything? We're like, no. Oh, yes, I do need you to do something. I need you to watch this pot of boiling water while I go down and do chores. I can do that. Everyone else? Nope. Sorry, not a single thing, not a single offer, not a single, hey, can I help you? Or can I bring something? Can I bring some kind of dessert? Usually you'd bring a dessert or something. Nothing. Now, I didn't say anything at all the whole entire time. But as the days kept going on, we had our little meet and greet, catching up and everything. Then we had our big dinner on Sunday because some of them were leaving on Monday. Nothing. Not a twitch of the finger, nothing. And that kind of started the whole ball as far as, hey, we were nice enough to open up our home for you. Can we get a little help? I mean, you can see both of us are struggling, trying to get you guys fed and trying to get things situated and getting things ready for you. Can you guys just stand up and lend a hand? Now, I understand some of them have medical issues and some of them have some kind of problems. I understand that. But there is some kind of, not everybody, so a lot of people were up and down, up and down, up and down. So needless to say, when it was all said and done, and the last person left at the last day, I turned around and I was like going, I've got to sit down. I've got to sit down. I have been literally nonstop waiting on these people hand and foot, trying to make sure that their stay was enjoyable and satisfactory. And I am just completely exhausted, and I probably won't do that again. I probably won't. Not in the situation that we were in. So I'll dive more into what's going on and what happened and everything. We had a good time. Don't get me wrong. We had a good time. But in the back of my mind, I'm just like, do me a favor. Can you get something out of the refrigerator for me? because the refrigerator, I know, I'm nitpicking, and that's what I'm doing. But it's that, hey, can we help you do anything, or can we fix anything, or I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I know I'm a selfish person sometimes, and I try not to be, and maybe that overflows in what I expect out of other people. All right, guys, well, stick around. We got a big show to get into, and we're going to talk to IT Dan as well, and he's got some things to say about this as well. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on social contacts, and you can see all the links that we're available at, our Instagram, our Facebook, YouTube. And for every podcast we do, we also have a matching video as well, and you can see us in real time as we talk about articles and videos here on the program. Make sure you go over there and subscribe and share with all your friends as I'm sitting here playing with this fingernail clipper because my hands are, they need something in them. I'm not a nervous wreck, but I don't know. I'm stressed. I'm stressed out, and not because of this weekend, because the weekend just didn't stop, and today it continued. And so, this morning I'm going through their bedroom, the one that had the dogs. Now, well, let's still continue to be stressed out. Unlike the people over in the Louvre, over in France. Now, if you don't know where the Louvre is, or I just said it was in France, but what's going on in France? A man disguised as an elderly woman jumps up and throws a cake at the Mona Lisa. A man who dressed up as an older woman jumped out of her or his wheelchair and reportedly tried to break the glass, protecting the Mona Lisa. He smeared cake along the glass, protecting the 16th century Renaissance masterpiece. The video posted on social media also shows a man in a wig with lipsticks throwing roses on the museum gallery floor. The guards cleaned up the smeared glass, officials said at the Louvre. They weren't available immediately for comment. The gentleman left screaming, "Think of the earth. People are destroying the earth," the man said in French. And then it's unclear if he's going to face charges. So if you want to see this video in real time, go over to prophetradio.com. And let me just turn this up so everyone can see it. And for every podcast we do, we have a matching video as well. So here we go.
Mona Lisa and her iconic smile covered in chantilly cream. On Sunday at the Louvre Museum, a 36-year-old man disguised as an old lady jumped out of a wheelchair and smeared cake on the painting, whilst urging people to think. Glass casing, the piece was left undamaged. On Sunday at the Louvre Museum, a 36-year-old man disguised as an old lady jumped out of a wheelchair and smeared cake on the painting, whilst urging people to think of the planet.
Think of the earth. There are people who are destroying the earth.
Witnesses described the event as jaw-dropping, with social media taken by storm with the footage. Thanks to the glass casing, the piece was left undamaged, and the perpetrator escorted out by security and an investigation underway. But this isn't the first time Leonardo da Vinci's most famous work has been attacked. In 1956, she was put behind glass when a Bolivian student threw a rock at the painting, damaging her left elbow. In 2009, a teacup was launched at her by a Russian tourist, scratching the case. And the famous painting made headlines when she was stolen in 1911, with French poet Guillaume Apollinaire and Spanish painter Pablo Picasso among the suspects behind it. But the thief was finally caught 2 years later, having committed the theft disguised as a worker on closing day.
So there you go. Mona Lisa's been through a lot, and this is another one that she's been getting into. A man disguised threw some cake at it. You can have your cake and eat it too, I guess. I don't know what the cake on the Mona Lisa and the message of think of the earth, the people are destroying the earth. I don't know how the two go in hand, but who knows? It's a famous, iconic work of art, and who knows where it goes from there. Now, this gentleman here, a Japanese man, did not dress up as an old woman. Hold on, let me switch screens here. A Japanese man did not dress up as an old woman to get his point across, but he was trying to get his point across by doing something completely different. A Japanese man is going viral after fulfilling his lifelong dream of becoming a dog. His dream came true with a hefty price tag of $15,000. The man, whose real name is Toko, goes by the nickname Good Boy, bought a realistic border collie suit from the company called Zeppet, Zeppet, which is known for making costumes and sculptures for movies and films. As we all know, all good things take time. His surprisingly convincing costume only took about 40 days for it to create and created multiple revisions to perfect. Sharing his freakish, realistic final product on YouTube, he has viewed over 2.2 million views thanks to his uncanny canine creation. Now, again, if you want to see this video, I'm playing it here on the podcast. And here we go. I'm going to show you the video. Now, I've seen people do like the body modifications where I want to be a cat, and they get all like these cat implants and things and done to their cheeks, and they get all the tattoos going. They get like all these surgical metal things put in their body to represent either a lizard or some kind of animal. People are weird, man. People are fucking weird. This guy's no different. So here's his video right here. He's dressed up as a border collie in this costume. Now, he literally looks like a border collie, but it's him on his hands and knees with this body that's over the top of him and a fake, almost like a taxidermy face. I don't know if the mouth opens or anything like that. And then he's got over his hands what would be the dog's paws, and he's wearing like a white leotard underneath it. So the dog's got, a border collie, Lassie basically is what he looks like. The white fur kind of blends into his leotard. And here he's got his little sign right here, and it's written in Japanese, and then also down below it says, "Nice to meet you." So here he goes. He walks over here. You see him walking over. Hold on. I got music. Here we go. Oh, there's music. So he sits down like a regular dog. I don't know how he sees out the thing. Close this. He's kind of sitting down like a dog would lay down. Takes the first... It's one of those flip boards where, you write something on it and then you try to flip it. He can't flip it. You know why? He's a border dog. He has no thumbs. So he flips it to the next scene, and it says, "I became a border collie because I wanted to be an animal." And he's, kind of panning to the camera. Hi, he's waving. Give me paw. Give me paw. Who's a good boy? That's my name, Good Boy. He can't get the papers off. He's getting frustrated moving the papers. From now on, I am thinking of uploading videos at my own pace. So then he kind of wags his butt a little bit. But he looks like a border collie, like a stuffed animal. Like if you were to stuff your animal and they crawled inside your border collie, it's kind of creepy. Please let me know your requests for this video if you would like to see what you would like to see in the comments. And then he can't get the paper off. Shoot that over there. If you want, please subscribe to our channel. Is there more than one of them? Then he waves goodbye. So there he is, another weirdo in this world that we live in. Oh. So is he going to ask people to identify him as a border collie? He can't get a job as a border collie. He could be a seeing eye dog, I guess. For the most part, he could, right? He could be a drug sniffing dog. But can he hold like a 9-to-5 secretary typewriting job as a dog? No, he can't. People are fucking weird, man. People are fucking weird. So there he is. That's Toko. Wants to be a border collie. And so when we come back, I'll talk about my doggy issues, and we'll talk to IT Dan as well. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? Of course you do. Everyone wants something for free, and we want to give you something as well. You got to do a little something for me, though. You got to go over to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio. Click on the free swag section. Fill out that little form there. I'm not going to do anything with your email address. I'm not going to do anything with anything. I just want to know if I have any questions as far as, problems with your order or anything. And it's not an order. You're just asking for some free stuff. Put your return address in there. We'll mail them out to you, and it's that easy. I've got stickers from all the different podcasts that are available on Prophet Radio, including this one as well. So I'd love to say thank you and send you out some free stuff as well. Now, as I was talking earlier, my dad's brother and sister came over with their spouses, and my dad's brother brought their dogs over. Now, my dad said, "I don't know about bringing the dogs over, but let me ask, Trav to see how he feels." And Of course, my wife and I are not going to say, no, you can't drive all the way from Tennessee and not bring your dogs. Who's going to watch your dogs? I don't know. I didn't think about that at the time. When you think about dogs, you think about two well-behaved dogs. The way they were described to us was that one is an older dog, but he's completely house-trained. The other one's a puppy, but he's house-trained too. Okay, with that information, we said, we gave him the seal, the DeaconLive seal of approval, put it on the letter and sent it to him and said, yes, you can bring your dogs. Of course, they show up a day early. Shocker there. First dog gets out. I'm just calling a spade a spade. It's a pit bull, and it's an old pit bull. Very nice, very docile. Can walk around. They say it's like 13 years old. I'm going to say no. That dog is not 13 years old. He's probably 9 or 10. He's got a little bit of jump in him. He's got a little spunk in him. And I've seen dogs that are, 12, 13 years old with less spunk than that. And then they bring out, you ready for this one? A 6-month-old chocolate lab puppy. Now, the reason why I tell you this is because if you know anything about the Labrador breed, Labradors don't mature until they're about 8 years old. And when I say mature, I'm talking intellectually. They are basically a 2-year-old child all the way up until the age of about 8. Because now they're starting to get out. They're starting to not wean themselves out. They're starting to get in that age where they start calming down a little bit and they start getting into their elder years. This is a 6-month-old brown chocolate lab. Razor sharp teeth, puppy teeth, and absolutely no concept of training other than my dad's brother and a squirt gun. That's it. There's no, come here, sit, stay, roll over, knows his name, nothing. This dog is a feral dog. And I tell you that because my dad's brother and his wife are not in the best shape or condition for handling a 6-month-old Labrador. Because, one, they both have walking problems. Two, they are both old. They're in their elder years as well. And here they are dealing with this Tasmanian-type animal and expect to have control over it. So we have, you guys know, we have a 12-year-old bulldog, very docile, very relaxed. We have cats. My dad's got his cat here that's trying to acclimate itself to the house. We've got our cats. We also have, the horses and stuff. Everyone, for the most part, is kind of trained, except for this one little bad little egg. This little dog comes in the house, and I'm like, hey, do you crate him at night? No, he just stays in a room. He's trained. Oh, he's trained for what? To go out at night? Oh, yeah, he lets me know at the door whether he wants to go out at night. As she's walking into the spare bedroom with a stack of pee pads this big. And I didn't want to say anything. I'm like, all right, well, this is just in case, something happens. There's an accident or something. I understand that. But every day she was trying, and she tried to be smooth. She tried to be smooth, bringing stuff out. There would be 4 or 5 pee pads that she'd be putting it. I see the garbage. I take the garbage out. There's 4 or 5 pee pads shoved into the garbage every morning. Part two. If you are that old and that feeble, you should not have a dog that's that active at all. That's just my personal opinion. I think that, if it hurts you to take the dog up and down stairs and take it outside, you should not have that dog. Unless that dog is more trained than it was. And like I said, their training was collar. They pull on the collar a couple times and squirt it with the squirt gun. And then that was it. Absolutely no training for that dog at all. Second, dog peed on our carpet outside. Now, granted, we have indoor-outdoor carpet on the back porch, so it's not a big deal. That's what it's meant to do. It's meant to get rained on. Of course, not meant to be peed on, but it gets peed on by the dogs, and you can kind of hose it in, and it goes through, and boom, you're done. Dog peed in the house a couple times in the house, a couple times that I saw in the house. Now, they'd lock the dog up in the bedroom, and every morning they would come out with a stack of pee pads, soaked or whatever, into the garbage. Then she says, my dad's brother's wife says, well, I put these slip-on shoes so I have to, in the middle of the night, if he's got to go out, I can just slip these on and take him outside to pee. And I'm like thinking, never heard the door open in the middle of the night for this dog to go outside to pee. So whatever you said there, I don't believe it. You're just saying that to make me feel better. No, I'm sorry. No. It's not working. So we were in the house. I forget where my wife's. It's a lazy Sunday afternoon. My wife's laying on the couch. She's watching TV. She's reading a book. She's doing whatever she does. My dad's wife, or my dad's brother's wife, my aunt, let's just call my aunt. My aunt is on the couch with the two dogs, and the young dog bothers the older dog. I mean, you know how puppies are, yelping and yelping, yelping. Now, our living area is huge with cathedral ceilings, so sometimes it echoes. And when you've got a dog or two dogs that are sitting there fighting in a house where everyone's relaxed and everyone's calm, it gets kind of annoying. I remember as kids, if we were to do that in the kitchen, when I say kids, me and my cousins, their kids, if we were to do that, they would yell and say, outside, everyone, outside now. And all the kids would scamper outside because we were being too loud in the house. Nope, not this family, not her. She sat there and just let the dogs just scream and yelp and scream. And I got to a point where I pulled up an adult move, and I said, outside now, everyone, you are too loud to be doing this in the house, outside. But it took 10 minutes for that to happen because she just sat there. Hey, stop it, don't move, dog. And she's out of breath. She can't move. Stop it, dog, stop it, dog, don't stop, come here. And I'm like, cut it out, stop it. And they come over and roll over me, and I'm pushing them off. No, clueless. That's why I said, Jesus Christ, get these dogs outside to where they can just be outside and not bother anyone. So as they're leaving, here's the kicker on this. So as they're leaving, again, my aunt comes out and she's, hiding under her arm, the pee pads and everything, and she's shoving them in the garbage. And I looked at her and I go, is there anything I need to be concerned about in the bedroom that you guys are staying at? Oh, well, I think he peed a little bit, and it ran off one side of the pee pad. So I kind of soaked it up a little bit. But, yeah, there's a little mark by the door going out. And I'm like thinking to myself, when were you going to tell me? As you're packing up the truck right now and you're on your way out the door, that's when you were going to tell me? I had to ask, I had to dig this out of you that, hey, we opened our home for your dogs, one kind of trained, the other one completely Tasmanian, peed in the bedroom that we're letting you stay at, and you're going to say, oh, by the way, the last day as you're driving down the driveway, see you later, dog peed in the room, go ahead and take care of that, see ya. Not offer any kind of, hey, look, dog peed on the floor, do you have like a vacuum or some kind of carpet shampooer that I can use to kind of get this up? Nothing, zip, nothing, nada. Narf. and like it was nothing. Oh, they'll handle it. No, that's what we do at our house. Well, that's not what we do at our house, okay? I'm sorry. So I went in there and I'm walking around. I mean, we take really good care of our property. We take good pride in it. We work long and hard for it. It took a lot of us I say a lot of us, took a lot of time and effort to get where we are in this stage of our life, my wife and I, to have nice things, and we don't need people just coming in and thinking that their dog can just pee on the floor and we be okay with it. So went in there, shampooed the carpet, cleaned it all up, noticed there was a blood stain. I'll get into the blood stain here in a little bit on the mattress. Not a single word was said. So will they come over again? Yeah, sure. As long as they don't have the dog and they don't bring, my uncle doesn't bring his wife. Oh, because she said well, I'm not going to get into that. I'll tell you that a little bit later. Yeah, because it made for a very stressful, which should have been a relaxing weekend with family who hasn't seen each other in a very long time. All right, guys, stick on. When we come back, we'll talk to IT Dan, and we'll dive a little bit more into my weekend that happened here. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want to be heard? Of course, we'd love to hear from you. The way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio, and be part of the broadcast. Click on the little blue bar at the very bottom of the page that says Be Heard. Opens up a microphone on your tablet, on your computer, whatever device you're listening to us on. And leave us a voicemail. It comes right to our inbox, and we'll play it on the very next podcast. You can ask me any question you want. You can give a shout out. We've been doing the podcasts full-time since 2016, so I've still got a whole bunch of old episodes out there. You can go back and listen to the very old podcast, which is always fun to listen to. And if you have any questions that you want to ask, and I'll answer them on the very next show, just get that in over at Proper Radio and Be Heard section. Now, let's find out, is this going somewhere with IT Dan?
Hello, Travis. How are you?
Hello, Dan. How are things?
I'm wondering how things are going there.
Happy Memorial Day weekend, Dan. I got a house full of, what'd you call them, oxygen denarios?
Octogenarians. People who are 80.
Okay.
Close enough.
What do they call them if they're in their 70s? Septuagenarians?
Probably they do that. So.
Yeah. Yep.
And when you're 80 years old, you get a birthday card from the president.
You do not.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Everyone in the United States gets a birthday card when they're 80.
Well, I think you can. There's a thing you can send in and have. Because I've had the president send birthday cards to some of my friends.
So you have people that are your friends that are 80 years old?
Oh no, they're 25 or 30, and I send it to them just to piss them off. Yeah. I happen to know your address. Don't be surprised if you get something in the mail.
Great. So, are you doing anything special for Memorial Day weekend?
I was looking for a part for a lamp. Kathy got a hanging lamp and is missing that screw, that nut part.
Wait, I think you. Hold on. I don't think it's a lamp that she's missing the screw in the nut for.
Yes. I'm missing. I have a few loose screws, but they're not missing.
All right.
So we're doing that. So you worked at Home Depot, right?
I worked there for 20 years. I started in 1994 and then worked my way up through the ranks up to assistant manager all the way and left in 2014, I believe.
And what did it mean at Home Depot when someone said they were walking somebody out?
Either they got fired. Basically, they got fired. They didn't want them causing havoc on the way out. It's what we call the managers would call the perp walk.
Oh, okay. Because I got a text saying you're walking Mike Stein out, and I just didn't know what happened if he got fired.
No. He was because we have Memorial Day weekend here. We're having I had boiled peanuts up there on the porch, and I said, well, hold on, let me walk Mike out because he wanted some of the boiled peanuts. So we sat on the porch there for a minute, kind of caught up. The whole family was sitting on the back porch, and they were asking him questions about the horse stuff that he does. And
he's very eloquent.
Why you say that?
And knowledge. What? No, I mean, when I listen to his podcast, he's very eloquent and he's very concise when he says things.
Yes, he is very good.
Yeah.
What else? What else you got going on, Dan?
No, I just finished detailing a car, and I'm just chilling out on the porch today.
What's Kathy doing? Anything? Are you cooking anything special? I thought you were supposed to come over yesterday. What happened?
She was having a lot of problems breathing yesterday.
And how is she today?
Better today, but she's just exhausted. She gets all this buildup of phlegm, and she had to bend over in the kitchen. I had to cup my hands and keep hitting her like drumming with cupped hands on her lungs to break up all the crap and stuff, so she could breathe. And she didn't feel good. And she
there goes all our listeners eating hot dogs and stuff for Memorial Day, puking it up.
Yeah. And it's and to have to go through that every single day. But I mean, there's people, like she says, there's people that have cancer every day, or the people that don't have any legs, or so there's
or don't have enough lamps or chairs.
Yes. Yeah, she bought a nice ceiling lamp for $10, but I can't find. And to buy the nut for it that's missing is $7. So.
Well, investment.
Perfect. Yeah, but it's one we're looking for our. It's a real nice one, and we're looking for our upstairs bedroom. So it's. But I can't sit in it. That's the only bad thing. what else is going? We're having a big parade today, a golf cart parade. I'll have to send you pictures.
Okay.
The whole development has a golf cart parade of like 15 cars, and they just ride one after another.
Are they golf carts or are they cars?
Yeah, golf carts. They golf carts.
So do you consider yourself a golf cart community?
Yeah, you could in some ways. There's hundreds of them in here, and it's funny because they're having a parade, which means like 12 of them will all be in a row. But if you sit here for 10 minutes, you'll see 12 golf carts go by in 12 minutes anyway. So.
So it's like it's a compressed parade. So if you got 12 golf carts, if they don't space themselves out, literally the golf cart parade could be done in 30 seconds.
Yep. And the rule is that you're not supposed to be driving any motorized vehicle, golf cart, unless you have you're old enough to drive and you have a driver's license.
Oh, really? In your neighborhood?
Yeah.
How can?
Our neighborhood goes by the laws of the state, and I see 6-year-old kids, 8-year-old kids. I see kids riding it, and they'll have a 2-year-old kid standing on the back, and we had a serious accident where there were like 6 teenagers in a golf cart, and one of them did a fast U-turn, and all the kids went flying out, and 2 kids had to get airlifted, but they still, we have the rules, but there's nobody here to enforce them.
I was going to say, who's the enforcement of the rules? Dan, let's do it this way. Yeah. I will volunteer my time, not volunteer, but you're going to have to pay me. I will come over there, and I will enforce every law that's on your books for your development.
And I mean, our development is good. I like it here.
No, you're supposed to say, okay, how much are you going to charge?
Yes. I didn't hear that.
Okay.
I don't. No, and it's funny because you look at the stuff that they do here and what people get away with. You're supposed to have your plans designed, approved by the board before you build a house. Some guy came in here and built 4 houses, and a board member told him, "Well, we can't really tell you what to do." So the guy built 4 Kleenex boxes with roofs on it. They had the ugliest houses, and he's all renting them out for Section 8 housing, where we have, $1 million houses in here, and ours is close to 300,000 now.
See, Dan, this is what I said to you. You should have run for office, or chair committee of the HOA that's up there. You should have done that, Dan. You should have ran up there and run for office, and then you could have changed all this stuff. So for you to complain about this stuff, it's like peeing in the wind.
No, because I'm smart enough to not want to go there because it's a thankless job. People call up about any minor ache. There's a dog, there's a speed bump. That people get called. You don't get paid, and you get called all day long for doing anything. And then you want to do something about it, and nobody wants to take any action. Nobody wants to confront anybody or do anything.
So let me give you this is my political, because I've run for many offices and held several political positions in several different communities. So listen, hold on.
It was the church thing.
So what you do is, for example, they say we need a speed bump on the corner of 5th and Main, right? So you go, all right, I'm going to put in a thing, all in favor, aye, all opposed, nay, and then you start putting in a thing. If they complain about the noise or whatever, if you putting that speed bump in, you know what you do? You stop doing that. You put this on the docket saying, okay, this we agree never to talk about again. If anyone wants to complain about it, hang up on them immediately. Hey, I still want a thing on 5th and Main, but I don't want all the noise out front of my house. Well, guess what? Tough shit. You complain about one, you can't have your cake and throw it out the window too.
Yeah. Now, when you pull in your driveway, you pretty much any vehicles you're driving, you're under Travis's rules. You do whatever you want to do there.
Right.
But when you get out on the street, what makes you stop at stop signs and obey the speed limit?
Because that is the rule of the law of the land of the roads that you agree to. It's on the back of your driver's license. Yeah. When you sign it, it says you agree to obey and subject to enforcement of any of the laws of the state of North Carolina, wherever your license is. You've already agreed to that when you sign.
But on your registration, it says tear along the dotted line, and you don't go fast by the dotted line. But you're doing it because the sheriff's going to stop you if you can get a ticket.
He's not going to get well. I mean, the potential of getting a ticket, yes.
Yeah, Yeah, but people, when they come in our community, they know right away that once they're into the gates, we have no sheriffs in here or any law enforcement. So they do whatever speed limit they want.
So why don't
drive right to the stop signs? Yeah.
Here's two things. Yeah. Here's two things you can do. One, who's your local community municipality down there? As far as is it a county sheriff or is it a city sheriff?
It would be a county sheriff, but we would have to pay the sheriff to come in there.
How much? How much do you think it would cost to have a deputy sheriff to sit in your community?
They've talked about it and they don't want to spend the money. So.
Then, like I said, then that gets removed off the docket. I don't want to hear any more about speeding or running stop signs or kids flying out of golf carts. I don't want to hear about it anymore because here was the solution. You guys refused to, accept the solution. So now the consequences are yours. Yeah, and I mean you'll see the people disobeying every single rule, and that's why they put in these speed bumps and they're rubber ones that you hit, and you really got to go over them slow. And all these people complained, and I said, don't complain to the board. Complain to the people who kept going through this. They had, a couple of accidents. People go right to the. They don't even look. Dan, just let them go. Just let them go. I would sit there and sit on your porch and scream at the clouds all day long. I would just sit there and go, you know what? It doesn't bother me. Again, Dan, you say you're the typical person that says, there's all this. What's the world's crazy, all this, gun violence and shootings and stuff, but yet you've got the same stuff that's happening just right outside your front door. And what do you say? It's not my deal. It's not my deal.
I don't let it bother me, but
but you let all the other stuff bother you.
no, but I just want to correct you when you say all the mass shootings and all the violence. It's not happened all over the world. It's only happened in the United States.
Well, that's what I meant to say. I was just that's the first thing that came to my mind. So, but you are the one that complains about the mass shootings and stuff happening here in our own home, our own land, our own community, not community, but our own country. Yeah. But yet you're okay with, kids flying down the road and not you're okay with it, but there's nothing you can do about it. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
And none of that bothers me. You were just talking about the community and different things. So I was just bringing it up.
But that's what I don't understand. How come that stuff on a lesser scale doesn't bother you in the community, but yet the stuff that's happening, 600, 800, 900 miles away, that bothers you? Yeah. That's.
Well, I mean, when you see innocent 10-year-old kids getting shot and killed,
and I agree, Dan. I know, Dan. It's a horrible thing, but how do you fix it?
Yeah.
How do you fix it?
They found that the countries that have least amount of homicides and have the least amount of guns, but the Republicans are not going to ever even ban assault rifles because they don't want to lose votes.
No, you're I don't want to say you're making excuses. You're not solving the problem. How do you solve the problem? You can give me all the stats as far as what's going on. How do you solve the problem? What is one sentence?
Oh, less guns.
Less guns. Okay.
Stricter gun laws. Stricter gun laws.
Stricter gun laws. Okay, I agree with that.
Yeah. Now after 9/11.
No, hold on. I'm not done. So stricter gun laws. All right.
Yeah.
How do you keep people from speeding and doing everything in your community?
How do we do that?
Yes.
Not by stricter laws, because nobody's enforcing them.
So you see what you fell right into my trap. It's a different scale, but it's a different scale. I mean, gun violence and speeding in your neighborhood, but you're saying that we need to force, we need stronger this when you can't even do the stronger stuff, the simple stronger stuff at home.
Oh, I can't do anything. I can go out and vote every 2 years. I can go out and vote. I am powerless. I really am.
You have problems finding a $7 bolt for a $20 lampshade.
Yes, and I went through my two bins, and I'm going to have to break down and buy one. So.
Oh God.
And Kathy can probably go to the store and find another hanging lamp for $5, and we'll take it off of that.
And then you got parts, you got leftover parts. What else you got going on, Dan? You doing anything special here in the next? You got any jobs? Real home away jobs? I don't know, Dan. I'm just trying to make small talk here for you.
No. I got some spark plugs I got to put in. I have my Uber service. I have to drive a woman to the airport on the 2nd.
Now, when you say Uber service, it's not, you're not driving for Uber. You're just using that term as not, you're going to be a taxi for.
Yes, I'm going to be a taxi for. Now my neighbors have me driving to the airport and back because they don't want to do it. So.
Well, I mean, not only that, you know, you're not doing anything, and they got places to go.
Yeah, and and my wife wants me to detail her car. That just happened. So.
Okay.
So that's one of the other things coming up.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to do my Kia because that needs it worse. As much as I don't like the car, it really needs a D&C.
Well, good.
I'm trying to think what else is going on. I've got a few handyman jobs people are looking at. I'll paint some railings, which is awful.
All right,
Please tell your listeners, I hate painting.
Yeah, I know. Let's go on to something different. Hey, who passed away? Ray Liotta passed away.
Ray Liotta passed away.
Did we ever find out what happened? Because I have, unfortunately, Dan, I've been busy here, tied up with the house, with all the people here in the house, and cooking and getting people to play nice with each other up at the house. You know what I mean? Not that they're, beating each other up or anything. It's just, just trying to keep peace around everyone. Not that everyone gets along. Hold on. Let me backtrack because that makes everyone sound like they hate each other. Just trying to make sure that everyone's comfortable is what I meant to say. Okay. Everyone's comfortable.
You're just accommodating everybody.
Correct. I'm trying to be the good host and making sure everyone's water's filled and there's a pot to every piston and a pork loin in every bed or something. I forget what the term is.
Yes, but everything's running smoothly.
So Ray Liotta died, and he passed away at the age of 67, 68.
Yep, 67, younger than me.
Did you find out? Did you figure out what happened? I haven't read the news or done anything.
I haven't heard anything. They haven't said anything about drugs or anything else. I enjoy watching Ray Liotta in the movies. I think that he isn't as much as an actor as he just plays himself.
Right.
I mean, most of the characters are
written for Ray Liotta.
Yeah. You can say this is the Ray Liotta. Hey, that's fine because you have the same thing with Liam Neeson and some certain people like that only have a certain acting range. But I do enjoy him. Goodfellas, he was fantastic in. I like him in a lot of his movies.
He was doing those Chantix commercials for a while to help him stop smoking. Yeah. And, maybe that was his last ditch effort to, stop smoking. And then maybe, I don't want to put curse on Chantix, but maybe that killed him. Or maybe it caused some kind of blood clot or something in his head where he already had it and it shook it loose. And these are just theories, folks. These are just theories. But I mean, he was putting on a little bit of water, quote unquote water weight. And that's not good when your body can't get rid of all the excess water that your body's producing. So there had to be something going on underneath that. Well, of course something's going on. You don't just die at 67 without being, somewhat terminal at a certain point or something. I don't know. I'm sorry to hear about. What's that?
Yeah. Maybe he's not getting enough tar, from the cigarettes.
Oh, tar. I thought you said car. I'm like, what kind of car is he not getting enough of?
And so and that's sad. And I guess he was. He had a fiance, which is gonna. I think he's got a few kids. He's got a daughter, I believe.
Is it weird to have a fiance when you're 67 years old?
Yeah, they still use it. So.
What do you mean they still use it? You use what?
Yeah.
His yachts?
Fiance.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about his yachts. Yeah, he still uses it, so he needs something to put it in. So let's get a fiance.
No, they still use the word fiance.
No, I know they use the word fiance, but isn't it weird to say fiance to someone who's 67 years old? You think when you think fiance, you think, 20s, like early, like kids getting married. Oh, this is my fiance. You don't think of like 18-year-olds saying this is my fiance. You look at 18-year-olds when they say fiance and you look at all you hear is mistake,
Yeah.
But
you're 13 years old and you're in Kentucky, but yeah, it is, and there's people that get married in their 80s still. So.
Yeah, but I think that's mostly for, just companionship. I mean, I hate to say why get married. When you're 80, I mean, really, what's the point of getting married when you're 80 years old? I mean, how many more years you got? Now, some 80-year-olds live to be 88, 89. Dottie, didn't she have a birthday, or she got a birthday? 97 years old. How old is she now?
No. July, she'll be 100.
She'll be 100 in July. Is she going to get a letter from the president?
She'll
get some from Al Roker.
I bet you I could put something in right for that now. I could do that.
Do it now, because you know the president's got a lot on his plate. He's doing a lot of stuff, a lot of president stuff over there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's some cards that are already pre-signed. I'm sure it's not. He doesn't just stop what he's doing at the Geneva Peace Conference and drop everything. So yeah,
Mr. President, Mr. President.
Yeah.
His one of his aides come up. Mr. President, I'm sorry, I forgot. This was on my desk. I'm so sorry. This is for Dottie over in North Carolina. Can you please sign it for me real quick? I know I forgot to get it to you before you left on the plane. I'm sorry. Here, sign it.
Yeah, and that is the worst job in the world. Being president.
The funny part is
the headaches. Yeah.
The funny part is president looks at the name on the card. He goes, "I think I dated her."
Yes, it could happen. So, and
because she's 100, get it, Dan. He's 100, she's 100. That's the joke. Never mind.
Yes, I know that. Well, he could aid older women too, so things go on. But yeah, I don't think she's got anybody left in her like high school class or any of those people. So,
but I mean, it's weird to hear about people over a certain age, even if you have kids. So, for example, an 80-year-old that's got like, their children and grandchildren and great grandchildren, and then you hear them getting married, and you're like going, well, what? Why? And you always look at the other person. Now, granted, sometimes these 80-year-olds are marrying 40-year-olds. Half their age to millionaires.
She's making that person feel younger and feel better herself, and they're helping themselves,
to the money
financially, probably. Yeah. So I consider that the business proposition.
They also have a term for that, and that's called being a prostitute.
Yes, we're doing that. You do something once, you label a person. That's really not fair. But it's, but she's very, very well off. And I mean, what are your two goals in life? To be a millionaire and to live to be 100. And if you can do both of those, that's damn good. So.
I don't know about the 100 part. I'd like to. Well, I'm almost there, so that part's almost achieved. But as far as living to 100, I don't think I would. I mean, I see the, and this is nothing against my family or anything, but I see the quality of life that a lot of the people that are at my house right now, like my dad, he has a hard time, sleeping. He can't get out of bed correctly. My uncle, he's had back surgery. I don't know how many back surgeries he's had. And I feel bad for him because he's constantly, we're sitting on the back porch on, Adirondack chairs and rocking chairs and stuff. And I see him wince every time he turns and moves. And, my uncle, he worked for NASA for many years. And I don't know if this is complications from working from NASA, but he has bad breathing problems. He has he gets delirium where he can form I feel like that sometimes. He can't form sentences correctly, and then some days he's perfectly fine. You would think that he was a spring chicken and stuff. So when you say live to be 100, I don't want to live to be 100 if that's the condition of what I have to look forward in as far as quality of life.
Live as long as you feel healthy.
I want to live as long as my body will carry me there.
Yeah. But sometimes it's not. You're looking at it right now, but this is gradually. This is 30 years from where you are now, and you get to that point, and that's
40 years, Dan. 40 years. Come on, it's 40 years.
Yeah. What are you? 48?
No, Dan, the illusion of the audience. I'm in my early 30s.
Oh, okay. Oh, and you hung like a bull hamster. Okay, I got it right.
Yeah.
All right. No, but I'm 68 and I feel like I'm 40. I'm out every day. I'm finding things to do. Mowing the lawn yesterday, just riding on the tractor, but I'm always doing something and moving around. Body in motion stays in motion, that thing.
Well, and that's good, but you've also had a very physical lifestyle growing up. You didn't smoke cigarettes. You don't drink as heavy as you used to in your early 20s.
No, in my teens.
Your teens, sorry.
I started drinking when I was like 21. I was 12 years old, 13 years old when we started drinking.
I know. I know.
Drink a 6-pack of beer and stuff. So.
All right, Dan.
I still got all A's. I got all A's in class, so I did good in school, even though I was I wouldn't call myself an alcoholic, but I did like to drink and throw up on my shoes back then.
That's only because you couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
What else you got going on, Dan? Anything?
No, it's quiet day here. It's like a holiday almost.
It is, and it's a beautiful day outside. It's supposed to, I think, high of, the computer here, the Doppler here says 85 degrees outside where I'm at, so.
Yeah, and I have something that's even more accurate.
What's
I
that?
have a mercury thermometer, and I got 82.
Well, there you go. Well, you're close. I'm closer to the sun than you are.
Yes. Yeah, you are by a few inches. Yes, that's correct. So, but no, everything's going well. And I saw a few pictures you posted on Facebook. Amy looked exhausted, but yeah, no, we're all right. Everything's going well here.
All right, Dan. Well, I'll let you go. Enjoy your day and tell Kathy we said hey.
Okay, sounds good. Take care.
Talk to you later.
All right, bye now.
Bye. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks. And the way you do that is go over to prophetradio.com, click on social contacts. You can see all the stuff that links us to you and you to us as well. We're available on Twitch, on YouTube, on Instagram, Twitter, and then all the different podcasting platforms that we're available on. So find yours out there. Click on it, subscribe, like, share, follow, do all the stuff that links us to you and you to us as well. Well, all you fans out there, when your family gets together or it's game night, one of the games that everyone loves to play is Monopoly. And a few years back, I talked about they were banning the Thimble. Well, fans of the popular game from across the globe have spoken. The Thimble token will return to the Monopoly boards this fall. Hasbro makers of the classic board game announced this after a long week of voting. The new Monopoly version featuring the thumbtack alongside the Scotty, the little dog, Battleship, Race Car, Top Hat, Penguin, I never heard that on there, Hazel, and Rubber Ducky tokens will hit the shelf this fall in 2022. Since the board game was introduced, the Battleship, Race Car, and Top Hat have been the mainstays across various versions over the years. So now we have the shoe. What's this? It's like a money pot or something. There's the iron. Don't forget the iron. The thimble will be put back in. There's the horse. And I think that's about it. So the Thimble's coming back after many years of voting. Thimble's making a comeback. I repeat, the Thimble's coming back. Pick up your copy of the Monopoly with the current tokens lineup, including the T-Rex, also today before the giant meteor comes crashing down. All right, so there you go. The Thimble, I know you guys were worried about it. Thimble's coming back to... Oops, got to switch games here. The Thimble's coming back to Monopoly. So go out there and get it. And that way you can fight with your your family and friends over a stupid board game. If they could make it shorter, I know there's a long way to play Monopoly and a short way to play Monopoly. I think one of the rules is you have to go around the board once before you can start buying stuff. Fuck that. And there's another way. The fast play, I think, is where you actually deal the properties out like cards. So if you got 4 people around it, I forget how many properties on it, you deal them out like a deck of cards, and then you start playing with whatever you got in your hands, or you lay them out and stuff instead of waiting to buy them all the way around the board. Never played that way, but we'll see what happens. Now, something that we're trying to, something that as we've been doing as Americans, or just in general, the human race, is trying to recycle. Now, everyone says, you got to recycle all your aluminum, recycle all your plastics. Oh, don't mix your plastics with this aluminum and your cardboard and your paper and all that stuff. Here on the property, because we don't have garbage pickup, we do have a landfill or dump or waste station, whatever they call it. And I do take all the recyclable glass down there. I do take all the recyclable cans down there. And then sometimes I sneak on a bunch of stuff that I don't want to have to worry about paying for to throw away. Like I had what I had the other day, like a busted camera or something. I just like throw it in there and they'll figure it out. Well, that attitude that I have is what everyone across the United States is having right now, especially when it comes to plastic. Plastic itself, we think we're doing so well with recycling plastic. Your eyes are going to be open based on this article. Nearly 40% of Americans consume fast food on any given day. That level of consumption has obviously impacted the public's health. Now, also, equally alarming statistic is for climate experts say that a single meal of Taco Bell, McDonald's, or Subway can contain up to 5 different kinds of plastic, which can't simply be recycled together. So, as Judith Ink, the president of Beyond Plastics, and Jan Dell, the founder of Last Beach Cleanup, outlined in this recent essay, there are actually thousands of varieties of kinds of plastic, which are broken down into trillions of tiny pieces once they reach the waste centers. These pieces contain different types of chemicals depending on their density, shape, flexibility, and color. I remember at one time when they had glass, like Coke bottles and all that had glass, we had to separate the dark glass from the clear glass. And because plastics are chemically reactive, unlike metals or glass, the process is meant to burn or break them down. Those are extremely different in all different aspects. Our recycling bins are more or less a mimic of a plastic fallout of fast food feast. This contains all sorts of polyethylene, polypropylene that can't be sorted out to make things safer. So what happens is, hold on, let me get down here. So our recycling bins, and we're putting plastic and stuff in it. Well, here's the actual breakdown of what's happening. Let's say that putting a coffee cup in blue bins is not really having an impact that we have imagined. Plastic recycling is barely on par with the deceptions flouted by big tobacco throughout much of the 20th century. Consider this. Just 5% of post-consumer plastic waste was recycled in 2021. 5%. A few years back, it was a little bit higher at 9.5, only because we were shipping bottles and lids and forks to China for some reason. I guess they don't care about what's going on over there. The recycling center process suffers from a host of interwoven issues. It's flammable, it's toxic, and it's expensive. Far more expensive than just creating new plastics. It's rarely clear to support the second life of food packaging. Now, so what's the actual trade-off on that? Well, chemically breaking down these mixed plastics in cement kilns will create harmful fossil fuels. But what they're doing over there in China is buying our plastic, burning it down, and using it to power their society over there. If you take this recycle all the way back to the fast food burgers, the cost to the planet is unthinkable. Trees cut down for livestock. Hundreds of gallons of water are used for a single quarter pounder. Packing products that burn off as fossil fuels, fewer trees to suck out the carbon emissions from the atmosphere. No wonder we're suffering here on the planet. So what they're saying is all the plastic and stuff that you think you're doing good, you're not. It's not going where it should be because it just costs too much for plastics. Now, as far as cardboard, aluminum, and recycled paper, that's a good process. But the problem is it's that plastic. Plastic has got so many different polymers and chemicals in it to make it plastic. For example, if you look at the bottom of anything, usually it's got that recycle symbol and it says the number 7 or the number 1 or the number 5 or something like that. It tells you what level of recyclability that product is. So if you look at the bottom of your thing, it'll tell you. Now, I don't know the answer of why or what to do with, a number 7 as to a number 2, but there's a reason why that's on there. Now, another thing that's affecting the market at McDonald's is inflation. Inflation right now is hitting your favorite restaurants, such as McDonald's, because they offered $1 any size drinks. Well, now they've switched it up in Canada, saying that for just $1, you get the small drink, and you can upcharge it for 25 cents for the medium drink and 50 cents for the dollar or 50 cents for the large. According to this hashtag, Sierra, who was talking about this article, who is mentioned in this article, is located in Canada. That depressing moment when you realize your dollar drink days are finally ruined by inflation. Well, we were talking about a while back that the Dollar Tree had their dollar section, and that was bumped up to 25 cents. The high inflation rate is leaving many in an economic bind. While there are plenty of corporations increasing employee pay, it's reportedly not enough to match the rate of inflation as well. Many goods, even the long-time budget deals like McDonald's large drink, are apparently being affected as well. So consumers have been long to purchase fountain drinks of any size for $1, which sometimes extends to the coffee as well. This was a business decision to help the chain compete with the other franchises like Wendy's and so forth. So according to McDonald's website, it appears that the dollar drink deal is alive and well in the United States, but if you're overseas or up in Canada, the dollar deals are going away because of inflation and probably all the plastic as well. All right, when we come back, do you have the slow walk of death? Well, I think some of the family members this past weekend have it, and I'll get into that as well. Stick around. You listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? We will give you something for free, but you have to do something for me. That's the way I'm going to talk during this segment. No, I'm just kidding. Go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on free swag while you're there. Make sure you fill out the little form there and pick out what kind of swag you want. We send you out some magnets, some stickers and stuff. And don't forget, you can also follow IT Dan over on Don't forget, you can follow Is This Going Somewhere on iHeartRadio. And also, I do another podcast called Equine Dynamics with Mike Stein. Mike Stein's the official farrier, was the official farrier of 2018. He's got huge accreditations as far as being a farrier and the biomechanics of horses. And I'm the host of that show, and I just kind of do a little Q&A with him. It's a little half-hour show, so you can check him out also on iHeartRadio as well. We appreciate that if you do. And he's got magnets and stickers, too. We all have magnets. We live and breathe on magnets and stickers. Now, as you know, I had the whole family over here. I say the whole family. I had my dad's brother and sister over here and their spouses. They stayed, was supposed to be Saturday to Tuesday. Some showed up early. Some left early. Everything's good. The house has been exercised. Is that it? Exercise? Ecstacism? I don't know. So figure out the terminology and insert it where you want. But my dad is, he's 76 or will be 76 here in the next week or so. And he's got this old man shuffle. You've seen old people, when they get to a certain age, they just kind of shuffle their feet around. Now, based on this article, that could be a bad thing. A slow walk as you age, has always been a warning sign of increasing fragility that could lead, I'm going to make up words here as I go along, that could lead to falls and other disabilities. Emerging research in small groups of elderly subjects have found that slower gait from year to year may be an early sign of cognitive decline. I can vouch for that because I saw it this weekend. This may be due to shrinking in the right hippocampus, which is part of the brain associated with memory, according to the study. But not all signs of cognitive decline predict later dementia. Only 10 to 20% of the people 65 or older have a mild cognitive impairment or MCI development dementia over the next year. In many cases, the symptoms of MCI may stay the same or even improve as they go on. Now, in a large study of nearly 17,000 adults over the age of 65 who walk about 5% slower more and more each year, also exhibit signs of slower mental health processing, were most likely to develop dementia as well. The study was published in the Tuesday Journal of the JAMA Network Open. These results highlight the importance of a gait and dementia risk assessment. A new study followed a group of Americans over 65 and Australians over 70 for 7 years. Every other year, people in the study were asked to take a cognitive test and measure the overall cognitive decline memory, processing speed, and verbal influences. Twice every other year, subjects were also asked to walk 3 meters or about 10 feet. The two results were then averaged to determine the person's typical gait. At the end of the study, the researchers found that the highest risk of dementia was for a dual decliners, is what they were calling it. People who do not only walk more sluggishly, but also show some signs of cognitive decline, which means basically the older you get, the more you forget stuff, the more you walk slower, is what they're saying. The dual association between the walking speed and your memory decline is predictive for later on dementia. A 2020 study shows that nearly 9,000 Americans it was found in. Yet, despite those findings, gait dysfunction has not been considered an early clinical feature of patients with Alzheimer's disease. So what they're saying is basically the brain shrinkage that comes along with typical aging. Studies have found that aerobic exercise. Oops. So what they're saying is basically what they're showing is aerobic exercise and training in the volume of. Hold on. It's my ear. There are things that we can do to reverse the brain shrinkage when it comes along to typical ages. Studies have found that aerobic exercises increases the size of the hippocampus, increasing some aspect of memory. That's why when you see movies at retirement homes, come visit us, retire with us in our retirement community. And they always have like old people bouncing around in the pool or, playing golf or shuffleboard or something like that because they're wanting to be active. They don't want their mental state to decline. Well, so basically, to fight this, you need to be more aerobic or get out there and get some more air, quote unquote, air into their system to increase their heart rate. Their breathing increases. And these typical aerobic exercises are like brisk walking, running, swimming, biking, something like that. Or like my dad does, he goes out and gets chicken and stuff, will help reduce the risk of your the slow death shuffle, I guess is what I'm saying. Now, I tell you that to tell you this. So my uncle, my dad's brother, we were walking down. Now, we built I recently had a deck built between our garage and the main part of the house. It's an extension of the deck that we have on our house already, a little wraparound deck. It's just a little crosswalk in between the garage and the main house area. Good sized deck. It's 42 by, I think, 13 wide, and we have 7 steps, and they're ADA accessible steps. When I say ADA, it's got a 6-inch rise with 11-inch run, and there's 7 of them, so you can see how high the house is from the deck. Now, we did that right before winter. Of course, winter got cold, and we didn't want to work outside anymore, so the deck was finished. The only thing we didn't put on it was rails, like handrails and guardrails or anything like that. But I'm thinking it's just me and my wife here. Then fast forward to February, we're coming out of winter here in North Carolina. My mom passes away. And then, winter gets spring and spring begets summer. And we never really put on the handrail and stuff. Now, my dad has moved here and lived here since about the mid of March. So he knows to take his time, go down the steps, side step, go down, go down, go down. Now, his brother and sister were up here, and I forget what that, probably the Monday. It was the Monday, actual late or Memorial Day. I'm talking to him, my uncle, my dad's brother, as he's walking down the steps that we just built on this deck. And they're real wide. They're 42-inch wide, so they're not like little narrow steps. I mean, 2 people could walk side by side going down these steps. But he's got the shittiest shoes on, these little slippers where the front, they're so worn out. They're sliders, that's just got the little Velcro over the top of your foot, and they just kind of slip their feet in there. He's got these shoes where the front, they're so worn out that they literally hang about 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch off the front of his toes, like they bend down. They're all worn out. And the back of them, half of his heels hanging off the back of them. So he's walking down these steps, and I would think that someone who's got some kind of walking shuffle, death shuffle, as you're walking, you would have some kind of better things on your feet. You hear me? Are you listening? You would have something with more support if you're going to walk around and you've got a problem with balance and stability and stuff. You would have something better on his feet. And then walking down these steps. Well, sure enough, he went to step. He's on the third step from the bottom. He's got 1 and 2 to go, and then he's on the deck. Not paying attention. I was talking to him. He kind of turned around to answer my question and turned back around to step down. And that turning of his head, guess what? Missed the last 2 steps, shoulder right into the deck, fell on the ground. And you know how old people have that skin? I say old people. You know how people have that skin that if they rub something, it just tears off for whatever reason? I'm sure there's a medical term for it. And it just shears off, like it doesn't dig into your skin, but you just rip off a layer of skin. He had probably about the size of about a golf ball on his shoulder that completely just ripped off of him, bleeding all over the place like a stuffed pig. And, of course, he's on blood thinners. He's on all this medication, so he just sits there and bleed. So I'm like, oh, God, everyone's panicking. Everyone's trying to run. I'm like, nobody come down the steps, Got an injured person down here on the bottom of the steps. I don't need to pile up. Like when a car crashes, you got 15 other cars crashing behind that and piling up. I don't need you guys coming down the steps. You guys stay up there. Go get me Band-Aids. Go get me gauze. Go get me something. I'll handle it down here on ground zero. So pick them up. Put them on. We have a little chair out there or a bench right there, and bandage them up. Finally, everyone comes down. Everyone's not panic anymore. Are you feeling all right? Are you doing okay? Are you dizzy? Blah, blah, blah. I'm fine. He's like, my pride's hurt worse than anything. I go, I understand that. So this is like 3:00 in the afternoon. So I go on about my day. He goes back up the stairs and sits on the back porch where they basically sat all weekend long anyways. And they sit up there and they kind of, make sure he's okay. And everyone's just kind of sitting on the back porch enjoying the sunset and stuff. And I'm doing my work and things. And all of a sudden I hear my wife comes running out. Travis. I'm like going, what happened? This is like 7:00, 7:30. I'm here in the studio still working. I got my headphones on. I'm working and stuff. And I go back inside and I guess I don't know what happened. But again, my dad's got the same shoes that his brother has, my uncle. These shitty-ass slip-on shoes where your toes are, 2 inches from the front of it. So it's got this little mouth on the front that kind of drags as you walk forward, which is not good, catches everything. And your foot is hanging off half of the back of it. So you don't have proper footwear for what you're wearing, for what you're doing, for what your capability is. Well, sure enough, one guy was going in the door. One guy was going out of the door, the same door. We have French doors. We only open the one side. Someone stepped on someone else's flip-flop. Both of them knocked them down, fainting goat style. Boom! Both of them hit the ground. Luckily, half in the house and half on the back porch there. They hit the ground again. Now my dad's busted open. Now my dad's busted open on one side, and his brother, my uncle, is busted open again. And I'm like going, Jesus Christ! Now I didn't know this, but at the time, my aunt, my brother's wife, said that well, I fell out of the bed 2 nights ago and laid on the floor for 3 hours. I'm like, what is with you people? You guys do not know how to function outside of your own little realm of community. So my dad hit the ground. He's fine. My uncle, he stood up. He's fine. My aunt, after telling me her story, I don't care. That's your own fault. You're late to the party. So they all go back inside. And the next day checked on them. Everyone's good. Everyone's fine. And then they kind of packed up and left. And then that's when I had to clean up all the dog urine and blood in the bedroom. You're not getting your deposit back. You're not getting your deposit back. All right, stick around, guys. We got one more little segment to get into, and we'll get back to let you get back to what you got to do. Hopefully, stand upright. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and don't forget for your podcast we do have matching video as well, and you can see this by going over YouTube. Subscribing to our channel, make sure you share it as well. You can see me waving to you guys. Hopefully you're waving back to me. And make sure you follow us on all your social networks and get some free stuff over there at Prophet Radio as well. And I was talking about last segment about my uncle and dad colliding together, and then my aunt, chimed in that she fell on the floor. And once everyone left on Tuesday, we were like, Jesus Christ, I'm so stressed out. My wife, as you guys know, rides dressage. We have an arena in the back. We have many horses here on the property. And for those of you who don't know, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. We sit on about 22 some odd acres. We have a bunch of horses. We have cattle, chicken, dogs, cats, ducks, goats, all that stuff here on the property. Well, between all the properties here around us. So my wife is out there. First thing, she does her horse riding lesson, and it's usually about 7 o'clock in the morning. And I roll out of bed probably about 7:15, 7:20. Start making my coffee, and I get a call from a weird number. Answer it, and it's the trainer that's down with my wife at the arena. And she is in the backside of the property, and he says, you might want to get down here. Your wife got thrown from the horse. I'm like, God almighty, Jesus Christ. So I run down there. I get in the side-by-side, coffee spilling all over the place. I got my coffee, of course, priorities, right? Get my coffee. I'm driving down there. I'm going over all the bumps, coffee spilling all over the place. I get up to the barn, and he's like, no, she's still in the arena. I'm like, she's still laying in the arena? Meanwhile, the trainer's got the horse that she fell off of. He untacking him up there in the stall. So I drive around to the arena, and there she is laying on her back, looking up at the sky. And I jump out, slam the thing in park and panic. And I'm like, are you okay? You okay? She's like, yeah, I just wanted to lay here for a minute. I'm like, okay. I said, is your vision blurry? She's like, no, but I don't have my glasses on. I'm like, okay. So I'm looking in the arena for her glasses because I guess she got thrown pretty good. There they are. Put them on her. Sit up, stand up. Are you good? Do you want to puke? Do you want to vomit? How many fingers am I holding up? That type stuff. She's fine. But I'm like, God almighty, I'm the last one standing. I'm the last guy standing. And she's like, shut up. I'm like I'm just scared to do anything today or the next 24 hours. I don't want to do I don't want to get on the mower. I don't want to get on the tractor. I don't want to get on any ladders or anything. Knowing my luck, that's the one that's going to get me. It's like, Final Destination? The fall master, the fall guy is going to get me or work his way through the property and knock me off of something here soon. So she's okay. She's taking the day easy today. So, no loud noises, no bright lights or anything like that. She's in the theater room there watching, I think, Housewives of Orange County or something, something mindless and relaxing. Nothing that would, cause any kind of disruption. But she was worried about concentrating, at work and stuff. And with that in the back of her mind, she didn't want to do anything silly. Now, this guy right here did not do anything silly. It actually is quite a picture. Now, don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video. Now's your time to go over there and see this video of this picture. A picture of a sleeping dog has gone viral. Oops, there we go. A picture of a sleeping dog has gone viral in the last few days, leaving the internet wondering or not if it was a giant sleeping dog in a pool. According to the dog owner, who goes by the name of Feeling View 2394, minimize that a little bit, the pooch is actual normal size Akita. There's a picture of a sleeping dog that has gone viral in the last few days, leaving the internet wondering if the giant dog was sleeping in a pool. And if you're looking at this dog, the angle is just right to give it the false impression of being a supersized animal. So let me see. Here's the post right here. So if you want to see this video, go over to Prophet Radio and you can see this video. So if you look at it, it looks like it's an Akita. I don't know. He's got like a Brendel type looking Akita. Normally they have shorter fur in the back. Maybe they didn't shave this one. But if you're looking at him, he looks like he's sitting in a pool that's been drained with the woods and stuff in the background. Or he's sitting in a skate park. One of the skate park ramps. And if you're looking at the video, I'll give you a few minutes to get over there and look at it. It's the leaves are changing in the background. And he looks like he's a huge dog laying in this pool. Now, get ready because I'm getting ready to spoil it for you. Perception is everything. This is an actual dog that is a normal-sized dog, and what he is is he's laying in the front part of a canoe. So this guy went canoeing out on the river, and his dog's laying there inside the canoe. So he thought it would be a cute picture to take a picture of his Akita inside his canoe, which is tan, looks like concrete and everything, just because of the nature of the color of the canoe. With the fall colors in the background, it looks like he's laying in a big swimming pool, which is kind of, if you look at it, it's kind of weird. It's an illusion, optical delusion is what they say in the business. So there you go. If you see that picture, he's just laying in a canoe, but it's a really neat picture that was posted. Now, this guy right here, hold on. Stop. Just stop it. In the videos that are gone viral, this video right here has gone viral as well. You remember the first time that your kid played baseball or hit a home run or hit a baseball or did anything sports related, and for some reason he just doesn't want to follow the rules of the game, and the parents are sitting there yelling at the kid, no, run that way, do that, go that way. This kid right here, in a championship game, Jasper pushes the limits when he makes his way to home plate in his own special way. You ask me how he did it? Well, he somersault all the way down the baseline to home plate. And when I say somersault, for a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old, you know what that means. He's sitting on his butt and rolling his head down the baseline, up and over, up and over, up and over. He rolled all the way to home plate, and luckily standing on his feet in the last few feet and tagging the plate, winning the championship game. So here we go. Here's Hoda giving her version of this story. So hold on. She's freaking out over here. Here we go.
Baseball. But young Jasper, he was really pushing the limits when he decided to roll his way to home plate. Take a look.
There he goes. That's the mom yelling in the background. No, you're doing it wrong. You're your father's kid. You're dumb. Get up and run. And the mom's yelling in the background.
Okay, Jasper does get on his feet. He does manage to beat the tag. That, by the way, with his mom yelling, it was the championship tournament. Oh, my God. She kept saying, run, it's the championship tournament.
He's doing cartwheels.
Come on.
Wow.
He's doing it his way. Anyway.
And he still made it home?
He made it home.
Yeah.
He made it home. He beat the tag.
Got to wonder about that defense.
Okay, by the way, that's hilarious.
Kid can roll from third? What's the catcher doing?
They're like 4.
Oh, don't take pity on him.
Exactly.
So there you go. So that's your little ear bleach and eye bleach for what's happening here on the show today. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And we appreciate each and every one of you for downloading us, contacting us. Oh, hold on, let me say that again. So there you go. That's what he was doing over there, trying to get to home plate in his own special way. On that note, guys, we're going to let you get back to what you got to do. We appreciate everything that you've done for us. Make sure you download us, subscribe, share, and get yourself some free swag over there. We'd love to hear from you as well. Go over to profitradio.com, and you can get all that free stuff over there and make yourself known, be part of the show. Click on Be Heard, sends it right to our inbox. We'll play it on the very next podcast as well. All right, guys, I'm going to let you get back to what you got to do. My name is the Deacon, saying good nights and good nights.
Boo! 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 Oh no. Wait! Come back!
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.